America didn't expect it. No one did. Late one night in Oklahoma, 2025, families were settling in, TV lights fading, the kind of quiet that makes a house feel hollow. And then, boom, a single violent blast, strong enough to shake windows in 4 different towns. People ran outside expecting smoke, fire, something. Instead, the sky was completely calm. No storm, no thunder, and seismographs showed no earthquake. Police checked every quarry, every pipeline, every military site. Nothing. Just a sound so powerful the ground itself seemed to jump, yet it came from nowhere. A week later, on the other side of the country, Woodland, California, experienced something even stranger. A blinding flash streaked across the sky. Not lightning, not an aircraft flare, followed by a deep, concussive blast that sent car alarms screaming across neighborhoods. Residents flooded 911 with the same question. What just exploded? But again, there was no crater, no debris, no fire, no meteor, no sonic boom recorded. Just a noise that existed for 1 second and then vanished like it had never happened. And while these events sound rare, they're not. Because on the East Coast, near Seneca Lake in New York, people have been hearing these booms for over 200 years. Locals call them the Seneca guns, mysterious cannon-like blasts that roll across the water on perfectly clear days. No ships, no storms, no military tests, just a sudden crack in the sky, so loud it echoes through the hills. 3 places, 3 different landscapes, one identical phenomenon, a massive explosion with no visible source. If a noise can shake houses, trip alarms, and rattle entire towns, but leaves behind 0 physical evidence, then what exactly is happening in the skies over America? That's where our story begins. For centuries, people have tried to name these noises. But the truth is, they don't fit into any single category. Scientists call them skyquakes, sudden, powerful booms that seem to come from the sky itself. You'll also hear names like mystery booms, sky rumbles, or on the East Coast, Seneca guns. Different names, same experience. A sound so loud it shakes homes, yet leaves behind no crater, no smoke, no ground disturbance, and often no seismic activity at all. Skyquakes follow a strange pattern. They happen most often on clear, calm days, when the air is still and the sky looks harmless. There's no thunderstorm brewing, no weather front moving in, no military aircraft accounted for, and no visible flash that would normally accompany an explosion. And yet, the sound behaves exactly like a physical blast, a sharp initial crack, followed by a rolling echo that travels for miles. Historical records show this isn't a modern phenomenon. Skyquakes were documented in the 1700s, the 1800s, and nearly every decade since. Colonial settlers wrote about cannon fire in the sky. Sailors reported hearing guns from shorelines that had never seen a single battle. Newspapers from the 1800s described towns being jolted awake by mysterious reports from the heavens. Even today, the pattern continues. USGS receives hundreds of calls every year from residents convinced they felt an explosion, only for every instrument to show nothing. No quake, no blast wave from the ground, no aircraft breaking the sound barrier. It's as if the sound exists only in the air, without a physical source to anchor it. So what is a skyquake? A natural phenomenon? A geological reaction? A hidden atmospheric event? Or is it something entirely different? A category of sound we still don't understand? To find answers, we go to the place where America's oldest and loudest skyquakes have echoed for generations. Seneca Lake, New York. Seneca Lake is quiet, Calm. A long, glassy stretch of water carved by glaciers thousands of years ago. If you visited today, you'd never guess it hides one of America's oldest acoustic mysteries. The first reported Seneca guns go back over 200 years. Settlers described the sounds as cannon fire, sharp, heavy blasts rolling across the lake on crystal-clear days. Others said it felt like someone slammed a giant door made of iron, strong enough to rattle windows. Yet the water remained perfectly still. But long before European settlers arrived, the Seneca people had their own explanation. They believed the booms were the voice of a powerful spirit moving beneath the earth, a force reshaping the land, creating valleys, carving rivers, and warning humans not to disturb the balance of nature. To them, these sounds weren't frightening. They were sacred. When the colonists heard the booms, their imagination went in a different direction. Some claimed they were the echoes of ghost battles, the artillery of long-dead warriors replaying ancient conflicts across the lake. The legend grew so strong that writer James Fenimore Cooper, author of The Last of the Mohicans, published a short story called The Lake Gun, cementing the mystery into American folklore. For generations, the Seneca guns were simply accepted as something the lake does. No one knew why, and no one could prove anything. Then, in recent years, a scientific team used high-resolution sonar to map the lakebed. What they found was staggering. More than 140 deep pits scattered along the bottom, evidence of methane trapped beneath layers of sediment. When enough pressure builds, gas can rupture upward, releasing an enormous burst that hits the surface with explosive force. A methane blowout can absolutely produce a shockwave, one that sounds exactly like a cannon. It's the most convincing explanation so far. But here's the problem. Not every Seneca gun matches the timing of methane events. Some happen in cold weather, when gas release is unlikely. Others occur repeatedly in areas with no gas pockets at all. And the biggest twist, similar booms happen in places with no lake, no sediment gas, and no geological traps. Meaning the Seneca guns may be one piece of a much larger puzzle, not the solution to it. If Seneca Lake is America's ancient cannon, then Moodus, Connecticut, is its rumbling drum. Tucked inside a quiet New England town lies a valley the indigenous people once called Moodus, the place of bad noises. Not storms, not thunder, but deep, rolling booms that seem to come straight from the ground itself. Centuries ago, these sounds were so frequent that local tribes gathered on nearby Mount Tom to interpret them. To the Pequot, Mohegan, and other Algonquian-speaking peoples, the noises were the signs of Hobomok, a powerful spirit who could create life or destroy it. The rumbling earth was his warning, his movement, his presence. To them, the Moodus noises weren't random. They were messages. When Puritan settlers arrived in the 1600s, they heard the same sounds, but their interpretation was very different. To them, the booms were evidence of the devil stirring beneath the hills, an omen that fed into their strict spiritual fears. Records describe entire congregations jolted during sermons, windows rattling in the middle of windless afternoons, families waking in the night to what felt like a distant, muffled explosion. Over time, the noises became woven into Connecticut folklore. Some blamed underground rivers. Others blamed buried gunpowder from colonial skirmishes. There were even stories of a giant creature trapped below the valley, thrashing against the earth. But modern geology finally brought the first real clarity. Moodus sits on a network of shallow fault lines. Small, fast fractures underground create micro-earthquakes so tiny you can't feel them. But because they occur near the surface, they produce a sharp acoustic boom that echoes through the valley like a blast. In 2025, a magnitude 1.8 quake struck the area, and residents immediately reported hearing the signature Moodus rumble. It matched perfectly. For once, a sky boom had a clear, measurable cause. A rare victory for science. But there's a catch. Micro-earthquakes explain Moodus, yet they don't explain the other booms across America. The ones on coastlines. The ones in perfectly stable regions. The ones that shake homes, but leave seismographs silent. Moodus gives us answers. And at the same time, it exposes how many answers we still don't have. Across the United States, reports of sky booms stretch far beyond lakes and quiet valleys. In fact, the cases that trouble scientists the most are the ones that don't match any known pattern at all. Take California. Not the coastal cliffs, not the mountains, but ordinary neighborhoods where people wake to a blast so strong it shakes homes, yet no aircraft, quarry blast, or meteor ever appears on record. Some towns have heard these booms daily, to the point where residents began theorizing about underground tunnels, secret weapons tests, even classified aircraft. Local officials investigated every lead. None of them fit. Then there's Oklahoma, where entire communities reported windows rattling and floors vibrating. Even though the weather was mild, the skies clear and seismographs completely flat. Experts suggested frostquakes, but temperatures weren't cold enough to trigger them. So what caused it? No one could say. In Michigan, Idaho, Alabama, Georgia, and over a dozen other states, mysterious booms have shaken towns with the same eerie signature, a sharp, concussive crack. No fire, no smoke, no debris, no seismic wave, no radar trail. One of the most unsettling patterns is this. Sky booms often occur in clusters, hitting the same region multiple times over several days, and then disappearing completely for months or years. And when investigators try to pin them on known causes, sonic booms, mining blasts, meteors, small quakes, each explanation works for some events, but not for all of them. A meteor should leave a streak or a flash. Many booms don't. A sonic boom should be logged by the FAA. Many aren't. A micro-earthquake should leave a clear seismic trace. Dozens of these booms occur with no detectable shaking at all. It's as if something triggers a powerful pressure wave in the air, strong enough to travel miles, yet doesn't disturb the ground beneath it. The more cases scientists study, the clearer it becomes. America's mystery booms aren't a single phenomenon. They're a collection of events that look the same, but may come from entirely different sources. Some natural, some geological, some atmospheric, and some still completely unclassified. For years, scientists studying sky booms have found something unsettling. A portion of the real-world data simply doesn't fit. It doesn't match shallow quakes. It isn't methane. It isn't a meteor. And it isn't aircraft or mining blasts. And when every conventional explanation collapses, a new set of ideas emerges, half scientific, half unverified. Not because they're convincing, but because sometimes they're the only things that fit what little evidence we have. Some atmospheric experts point to something called atmospheric waveguides, natural, invisible tubes in the sky. On rare days when layers of warm and cold air line up just right, sound can bend and travel enormous distances. A small explosion hundreds of kilometers away might boom like thunder, while the people standing near the source hear nothing at all. It was documented during World War I, but never confirmed in modern sky boom cases. Another group focuses on micro-pressure collapses, a moment when a pocket of air suddenly loses pressure, then snaps back instantly. That snap could create a sharp, powerful pulse, a blast with no fire, no flash, no debris. Almost like the sky taking a sudden, violent breath. It's incredibly rare, never recorded directly, but simulations show it's possible. There are clues from underground as well, but not the kind that come from earthquakes. Some seismic instruments have detected strange pulses, not P waves, not S waves, not mining blasts, and leaving behind no cracks, no aftershocks, nothing. The kind of signal that makes geologists ask, is there a type of underground energy release we haven't identified yet? A tiny pressure pop, powerful enough to make sound, but too small to become a quake. Other theorists look upward, toward regions where electromagnetic currents collide. Not lightning, no storms, but silent interactions in the upper atmosphere that release energy without producing light. A handful of satellites have recorded brief bursts of electromagnetic noise at the exact moment sky booms were heard, though the data is far too limited to prove anything. But perhaps the strangest clue of all is the pattern. Sky booms often arrive in clusters, 3 to 7 days of repeated blasts in a single region, and then complete silence for months or even years. No storms, no seismic activity, no natural cycle strong enough to affect an entire area. And that leads to the biggest truth of all. There is no single explanation. No model works for every case. Some events may come from the atmosphere, some from pressure, some from geology, and some still don't fit into any scientific category. This non-uniformity is exactly what makes sky booms one of the most confounding natural mysteries in America, a phenomenon united by sound, but born from mechanisms we may not fully understand, including those science hasn't named yet. For centuries, people tried to explain America's sky booms. Some blamed spirits, some blamed geology. Others blamed storms or secret aircraft or meteors that never appeared. And after all the investigations, the strangest truth is this: there isn't one answer. Some of these booms behave like atmospheric tricks. Others resemble underground pressure events. A few fit models of distant explosions bending through the air. And many, far too many, fall into a category science still can't classify. A single phenomenon with no single cause. A sound powerful enough to rattle homes, yet too slippery to leave evidence behind. But mysteries don't end with the sky. Some of the most unsettling questions lie beneath our feet, in places where the ground is anything but silent. Because just a few states west of here, in Northern California, there is a mountain wrapped in legend, a place where disappearances, strange lights, ancient stories, and rumors of an entire hidden world below the surface have persisted for generations. A mountain said to contain networks of caves, deep chambers untouched by maps, and passages that might reach farther than anyone expects. If the sky can create sounds with no source, what secrets might the earth itself be hiding? In our next episode, we travel to a place where myth and geology collide. Earth's hidden mysteries, Mount Shasta, the hidden caves beneath California.